Hey guys, this is Amit from Players Box and second day of the Olympics. And we had the major match, Rafael Nadal playing again against Fucsovics, the Hungarian, and what a hell of a match that was. So we're going to talk about that. Hi, Ido, how are you?
All good. Another exciting day for tennis.
Exactly. Well, we got to speak about, first of all, let's start with yesterday. So we said about Berrettini winning the Gestalt event, but there was some a great fight also in Umag, right?
Yeah. Sarandello against Musetti. Both play today in Paris, so very short or no break at all. And
Yeah,
Musetti lost in Umag.
yeah, he lost in three sets, came straight back, but today a good win for him over Monfils, huh?
Yeah. And for Sarandello also won today.
All three Argentinians, by the way, maybe even more, but I saw that Baez won, Sarandello won, and also Echeverry won.
Yeah.
So I told you, watch out for these clay quarters. Huh? It seems like the setup and the structure of the Olympics and the way the draw is set up and this squeezed 1 week event or 8 days event suits them perfectly. So no days off almost, singles, doubles, and they look tough, these guys. I wonder how the Chilean will also play and that should be interesting. But look, after yesterday's match, we had questions about whether Rafa's fitness, whether Rafa's strength is going to hold on for singles. It wasn't clear if he was going to play singles. He went on court against Fucsovics, who's a very, very strong physically guy. He's a very strong guy. Started the match, won the first set. wasn't a great match, but he was the better player. He was hitting the ball very hard, and he was still moving okay. Then Rafa slowed down in the second set, went down a break, and the match went 6-4 to Fucsovics. What was interesting to me, and I think you will agree, was that in the third set, Rafa was the stronger guy, right? He was
Yeah.
serving better. He was hitting the ball harder. Wasn't moving great. Let's be honest about that. But he seemed like the more physical guy at the age of 38. So maybe it's his son in the crowd, or maybe it's the full house again. Full house, not an open seat during this match. But Rafa taking out Fucsovics in three sets, dominating in power, that's great news for Rafa.
Absolutely.
And who
Yeah.
does he play? Does he have an easy second round?
Well, that's remain to be seen. It's the guy that always get a very, very difficult draw playing against no one at the first round. So let's see how Novak's doing tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. Novak is the question mark because we know like Rafa is gonna give it all. He's gonna do his best and everything. If Novak can take the ball early and move Rafa around, and he can move, then I don't think that Rafa stands a chance, right? But I feel that just out of the respect between these guys, we're going to have a closer match. That's my feeling.
Yeah.
7-5, 6-4, maybe even a set here and there. I think Novak's coming on top here, but we'll see, because remember, Novak did play well against Sarandello and Mosetti back in the French. So he's playing well on clay. He has enough time to hit his shots. It's best of three. He is the clear favorite for tomorrow's for the second round. But listen, Rafa against Novak, second round of the Olympics at Roland Garros. Can you ask for anything more?
Now, but it's interesting because they're both 37, 38 years old. And the main question about who's going to win is who can move better. So it's definitely an age factor and fitness factor.
And the fact that we know that Rafa has been out for so long, and Novak coming after this knee procedure, retiring at the French. Wimbledon was one big question mark. Made the finals, looked very bad in the finals. So I would say that this is, like you said, who's ever moves well, who's ever stays on his feet. Last man standing is going to win this battle.
Yeah, but
So
we saw Rafa, when he lost to no, it was also because he couldn't move. So and Novak losing to Carlos because he couldn't move. So now it's just a question of who could move better on the court and win.
Yeah, like I said, last man standing, but I don't remember that we were ever in this situation, because at Roland Garros, it was all about, Rafa being the fittest, Rafa being the stronger, Rafa being the better clay court player. Right now, I think that all of this stuff, even the surface is nothing's a factor, the only factor is the physical aspect of these two because they're both not playing great tennis. Let's admit it. So I want to see, is Novak going to dominate because he's right now a better player than Rafa, or is it going to be an even match? Because remember that for 2.5 sets against Zverev in the French, Rafa was playing well. I mean, like he gave him a run, right? He had no chance because it was best of 5. But in a best of 3, I mean, he could have won a set against even Zverev back then. At the same time, remember that Novak played well, as I said, against Mosetti and Sarandello, but he did throw a set or two because he was not fit for the best of 5. So even that match till 4 o'clock in the morning, if you remember, I think 1 or 1.5 set out of it, Novak wasn't moving, right? And then he kind of, as he always does, found his way, as he always done and always does, other than the finals against Alcaraz, right? It seems like the Novak famous way of getting back into the match always works, but doesn't work against Alcaraz.
I think Rafa's gonna win tomorrow. I
Really?
think, yeah, I think he's got so much. He's got a lot more uh, for Rafa. Yeah, an Olympic gold. It's that's what
He did win one. Huh? He won in 2008 in Beijing, correct?
yeah, but for now, that's the end of his career.
Yeah,
That
but
could
Novak
seal it.
Djokovic, the GOAT of all time, doesn't have an Olympic medal.
Yeah, but that's not what drives him. Novak wants to win Wimbledon again. Novak wants another Grand Slam. That's not what's gonna make him happy. For Rafa, it's gonna be closure, a gold medal in on Roland Garros. Yeah, the Olympics, but the
All
same
I can
ground.
say, keep on dreaming. And tomorrow when we see each other, bring me some of that stuff that you're drinking, okay? Because
Yeah,
there's no way Rafa is beating Novak. It might be tough, whatever, but you're underestimating the GOAT. The GOAT with his
yeah,
knee procedure, with everything. He doesn't play doubles, huh? It's
yeah.
Novak Djokovic, man.
I know, but I was wrong. I thought he was gonna win Wimbledon, and I was wrong. So probably I'll be wrong about
Look, he
losing
probably
to
went to
Rafa
see
tomorrow.
he probably went to see Serbia today losing to the US in basketball, right? Now can he
Yeah,
lose back to back the basketball and tennis against Rafa? I don't know. I think Rafa will do well in doubles. I think he might go all the way unless Novak breaks his body to pieces. Uh, but he is the GOAT, guys. As much as romantic as you want, Paris is the city of love, right? And
yeah,
and it's a romantic thought about Rafa winning a medal in singles or going all the way and winning doubles with Alcaraz. Imagine him and Alcaraz playing each other in the finals and also winning the doubles gold medal. It's all great. But remember, the Joker, his job in tennis has been to destroy all the fantasies, right?
yeah.
All the Roger fans. So I
How's the
just
crowd gonna be tomorrow?
it's all going. Respect to Novak. Remember what he said about disrespecting him in London, right?
Yeah,
So it's not your typical French Open crowd because there's a lot of international spectators. But I promise you, you're not gonna get an empty seat. I remember when these two guys met 2 years ago in Roland Garros, and it was a night match, and it was a hell of a fight. But this time, I'm telling you, it's best of 3. They're shooting everything they have. They don't have much these days. We got to be honest about it. It's not these guys at their peak, right? But still, I truly believe that at the end, if it's not Novak standing, he better come up with some, he always has the reasons, or if you want to call it the excuses, right? A bottle hit him. Remember what happened in Rome when the bottle hit him in the head?
yeah.
And he went to lose to Tabilo. So a bottle better hit him, because there's no way he can afford in Roland Garros playing for his country, which is very, very important, because nobody's catching him on the Grand Slams, maybe till Alcaraz in 10 years' time, right? But Novak wants to become a national hero. He is a national hero, but he wants to even extend that. So there's no better place than the Olympics for that. So Novak can afford, even though he hates it, he can lose to Zverev. He can lose to one of the Argentinians and then says that his knee was hurting or he wasn't feeling great. But losing to half a Rafa, I don't know. It's literally half a Rafa, right? So I don't think that he can afford that, to be honest, So I'm sure that Novak would have preferred Rafa pulling out from singles or even losing today, which he wasn't far from. But if they play each other, then Novak's going to give it all, I mean, he just has to.
Novak's got
let's see. That should be very, very interesting. And in the shadow of all this match and everything, there's this other Spaniard who's not a bad player, and I think he won a couple of tournaments lately, Carlos Alcaraz. And with all the excitement, he's like playing second fiddler to the whole orchestra, right? He's like the guy who plays doubles with Nadal. But that's not going to last for long. I think that as we go deep into the draw, he's going to start dominating this Olympics, and he's the one to watch out. And remember my Argentinian boys, huh?
Yeah.
We had a pull out today. I believe it was Alex Deminar who pulled out. A lot of guys are pulling out. Nori, a bunch of guys, Mari, a bunch of guys are pulling out. It seems like these guys don't want to take a chance on injuries moving, to the hard courts in the US. So
Alex Deminar, it could be carrying the injury from Wimbledon.
Yeah, but they all showed up. Huh? They all showed up in Paris, so it's fun. Olympic Village, right? A opening ceremony, but then they don't. It feels like they don't want to take a chance. Huh? By the way, I don't know if you noticed. I want to see it tomorrow. The courts were playing a bit different to me. You know how Roland Garros are perfect during the French Open? Like, these are the most perfect clay courts ever. You're never going to find a bad bounce or anything. And here you could see that there were some bad bounces, and I don't know, maybe it's that switch from indoors to outdoors with the closing of the roof, sunny day to a rainy day, but the court wasn't playing great today, to be honest,
Yeah.
So let's see how that affects. I'm looking forward to that match, because we have, how often do you have? It'll be like Messi playing against Ronaldo now, right? They're both not in great shape, but it's still that kind of a match that attracts everything. So everything's on the table. A second round of the Olympics, and nothing else matters.
Yeah.
Either you're on Novak's team, or you're in Rafa's team, right?
Yeah, but other than that game, there's plenty of other interesting games coming up tomorrow.
Oh, for sure. But I gotta tell you, to me, it gets interesting from the quarters, right? When they get closer to playing for a medal, stuff like that, So you're gonna see. I mean, like today, Mosetti 6-1, 6-4. Even Scott Draper against Nishikori 6-1, 6-2, or 6-1, 6-3. So guys are not killing themselves on the first, second round. It's not like in the slams. But other than that match, the specific one that we spoke about. But as we get closer to the quarters, we're going to get some great matches. But right now, in this Olympic, I'm telling you, tomorrow, with all the 19 sports and surfing in Haiti or wherever the hell they are, or swimming in the Seine, or basketball, everything, tomorrow the whole eyes of the world, not only tennis, sports, and the Olympics, are on this Rafa versus Novak. Remember, again, you're either with Novak or you're against Novak, and then we were with Rafa. I think that the Rafa is going to get most of the support. That's going to help him. Also, the time of day. It seems like as it gets a little bit later in the day and the sun is not a factor. Remember when he lost to the Portuguese in the finals in Boston? Yeah, it was pretty hot. Huh? They played during the day. It was pretty hot. Not that Novak is in amazing shape, right? So, and again, it's not about their fitness as much as it's how they move. Novak was all about movement. Rafa was all about movement and power. He still hits the ball pretty well, not as precise. He does make more mistakes, but he can still hit the ball pretty hard, especially on his forehand side. It was amazing. The guy was hitting forehands from all over the court. But he doesn't move.
Hot day in Paris tomorrow, 32 degrees.
Oh, wow. Let's see if they put them later on in the day or they're going to put them during the day. So I really hope that we're going to have a great match. Let's hope for that.
And Amit, don't forget, you mentioned all these other sports. We have only one sport for us, tennis. That's it.
And tomorrow with all the matches, there's only one match, right?
Yeah.
So guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Write us anything you want us to talk. We are saving you the best seat in the house. Rafa Nadal, the king of clay, the king of Roland Garros, against Novak Djokovic, the GOAT of all times, tomorrow at the Olympics in Paris. That should be a lot of fun. We're going to see you right after that match and talk about it. So all the best to you guys. And Ido, thank you so much and see you soon.
Thanks, Amit. Have a good night.
All right.